Good morning everyone. Welcome to the YouTube channel of Little Flower School Rapti Nagar. I'm Amit Kumar, your computer science teacher, and this is the 18th video lecture for class 12th A and 12th B. In our previous lecture, we have actually discussed about the various wrapper classes and the methods that we use in those wrapper classes, along with how we are going to use different control structures in the program, and especially the switch control structure, in which we have discussed about the importance of break keyword and of course the default keyword. In today's lecture, we are going to talk about file handling. I know you have discussed this chapter in class 11th also, but most of you are having problem in it, and of course it's part of the revision syllabus of class 12th. So we are going to revise this topic, file handling, and today in today's lecture, not only theoretically you are going to understand it, you are also going to see some practical aspect of it also. So let's see what is file handling. But okay, let's first see what is file handling, and then we will see what is the need of file handling. So file handling, actually the process of using a file along with the program. Suppose I have created a program. This is my program. Of course it is running in Java runtime environment, and everything that I'm providing to this program, if I'll go with the previous lecture, we will take input from input device, program will process on it, and then provide output on the output device. Now this is what is happening in our programs till now. And where this program is running? This program is running in the memory, that is in the RAM. That means whatsoever input we are giving, that input is storing. Every data of the input is part of RAM, and everything that is being processed, every information that is being processed is part of RAM as well. We know our RAM, or the primary memory, is actually volatile. Volatile means it's temporary, so it can hold things temporarily in it. That means whatsoever we are entering in the program, whatsoever we are getting from the program is temporarily available in the memory, and once the program is turned off, once the program is closed, we are not able to get those data and the information back again, right? So what is the solution for that? There are two solutions we are having in programming through which we can get these data back, we can retrieve this data back. First is the file handling itself. It says that your input or whatsoever you want to get back, retrieve back, keep those things, save those things in a file. Of course that file will be part of hard disk drive, so keep those things saved in your hard disk drive, which is not volatile. Second thing is, instead of doing file handling, do database handling. And with help of database handling, we can store the data in the database, that also can be retrieved back. So among file handling and database handling, which is the best way to handle data? Of course database is the best way to handle the data, because not only it stores a large amount of data into it, but also the way of retrieval is very interesting in database. But unfortunately database handling or Java database connectivity, JDBC, is not part of our syllabus. We are only going to work on file handling. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a file in hard disk drive. One file we are going to create. Now it's up to you which type of file you want to create. Of course we are going to deal only with textual data, text data, right? Data in form of characters. So we are going to create a text file over there. It can be a normal text file with .txt extension, or any word processor file as well with .doc extension. But remind you, we can only enter data into it in normal way. We cannot format the text through programming. Though there are ways to format the text through programming, but that's also not part of our syllabus. So what we are going to do in our syllabus, we are going to take data, of course, from the input device in the program, and before showing it as the output, we are going to save the data, or instead of showing it as the output, we are going to save the data. Where we are going to save it? Of course in the file. Now the question arises, what is the need of it? Well, the need also are explained here. The need is we are going to store the data for a longer duration of time so that we can retrieve it back. Otherwise, data will be deleted as soon as program is closed. So file handling is a way of storing and retrieving data for a longer duration of time. Of course, the data that we handle in our program. So we understood what is file handling and we understood what is the need of file handling. The next topic that we are going to discuss now is what is the way we are going to handle file. Okay, we are going to understand the way we are going to handle the file. So there are few classes that are available in Java and we are going to use these classes if we want to, of course, save data into a file or retrieve data from a file. So we are going to perform both the tasks. We will store the data in the file, we will retrieve the data from the file. So both the tasks we will do and we will see classes for performing both the tasks. Okay. So because we are going to write into a file, we are going to save something in a file, there is a class available in Java known as file writer. And we will take help of this we will take help of this class whenever we are going to write something in a file. Similarly, there is a class available to read from a file and the class name is file reader. Now both these classes have some methods to read from the file or to write into the file, but the way of reading and writing is very lengthy because it deals with single character at a time. If you want to write more than one characters at a time, as suppose you want to write a string or you want to write any number into it, how you are going to do that? Okay, so for that we are having few more classes available, and interesting thing is we cannot use those classes directly. What I mean to say, file reader and file writer, these are two classes that you are going to use in all the file handling programs, because these are the classes which are going to link them to the file. Okay, but as I told you, we are going to write collection of characters, we are going to read collection of characters, so we are going to use few more classes. Like there is a class available, buffered writer. Okay, and as we already studied, there is a class buffered reader. So with help of buffered reader, I am going to read from the file. So what I will do, I will attach this buffer memory with the file reader. Similarly here I will attach this buffer memory with the file writer. So buffered writer is a class which is nothing but a buffer memory that can be attached to the file writer for writing in the file. Similarly, buffered reader is a class that can be attached to a file to read from the file. Okay. Now, of course, instead of buffered reader, you can also use scanner. But I told you there is a difference between buffered reader and a scanner, and the difference was about buffer memory. The buffer memory of buffered reader is bigger than the buffer memory of scanner. So hence, if we are reading from a file and we know that there can be a large amount of data into it, then I would suggest you read with buffered reader. But if you know that file data is not too big or file data is small, then you can use scanner. In any of the way, we will read text or we will read string only. So you can use any of those readers or any of those buffered memories. Buffered writer is having a method which we can use to write into a file, but I would suggest you to write with another class known as print writer. How this function will work? File writer will attach itself to buffered writer and buffered writer will attach itself to print writer. Now print writer is having a very simple method, the same kind of method that you are using with the out. Do you remember? Yes, print and println method. The same print and println method can be used with print writer also. That means print writer is having println method which can be used to print something. But print writer will not print on the console because system.out is going to do that. So where the print writer is going to print, it's going to print the data to the destination where it is attached. Okay, if it is attached to a network, we use print writer sometimes on network as well. or if we are working with website, so it is very important class, print writer class. So if print writer is attached to a network device or to a client or to a server, then definitely the data that we are providing it will go to the client, will go to the server, or will go to that network to which we attached it. But here we will attach print writer to buffered writer and buffered writer to file writer. So print writer is going to print to that specific file only to which we are attaching it. Well, we know method to read. There is a read line method if we are reading from buffered reader, and there is a next line method if we are reading from scanner. So here we are already knowing about the method. Here the method is print and println, that we are also knowing. So if we are using these classes to take input or to give output in a file, it's going to be very easy for us to do. Now let's see. If you are thinking that why we are not using directly buffered writer and why we are using print writer, that I will explain you with the program today only in the practical part of today's lecture. But let's keep it for the practical itself. But before that, let's see how to create a file writer or a file reader object, okay, where we are going to specify the file name and what are the different constructors that we can use with them. Firstly, I want to tell you about file writer, and then we will discuss about the program that we are going to make today. Okay. Firstly, I will discuss about file writer. Let's talk about file writer. So file writer is a class, and the way of creating object is same. Suppose I am creating a file object, okay, new file writer. Now where we are going to specify the file name within the constructor. This is the place where we are going to specify the file name, and as I entered, as I have written over there this double quotes, that means whatsoever will be the file name will be specified here as string. Okay, so we will specify string over there to mention the file name. But when you are mentioning the file name, don't forget to mention the type of the file. Now some of you would be asking or would be thinking, what is the type of the file and how we are going to mention the type over there. Actually, in computers, type of the file is decided with the surname of the file or extension of the file. For example, if a file name is having .mp3 extension, we can easily tell that it's an audio file. It's an audio file. Similarly, if it's having an mp4 extension, it's a video file. If it is having a .jpg or .png extension, it's an image file. Similarly, a text file has an extension .txt. So if you are mentioning a file name over here, for example, if I am mentioning my file name is my file, so I have to mention .txt along with it. Of course, if I want to create a text document, now instead of that, if I want to create a Word file, I will write here .docx for MS Word files. Similarly, if I want to create a PowerPoint file, I can write here pptx. But if you are thinking that suppose I created a Word file and I can format the text over there, I can make any text as heading, I can create them as paragraph, I can put table over there. So it is possible in programming, but not possible with file writer directly. We have to take help of few other classes, few other third-party APIs. So that we will discuss sometime later, maybe if syllabus is over early, then we will discuss that. But till then, this is the way you are going to create a file writer object and you are going to specify the file name. But the constructor is overloaded. The file writer constructor is overloaded. One more version of file writer is this one. Now in this version of file writer, we will not only mention the file name like this, but we will also mention here a boolean value. Now what this boolean value tells us? This boolean value tells that this particular file will be appended or not. Okay, let me tell you the difference between them. I am mentioning the boolean value as true. Now what's the difference between them? If I will use this file object, Suppose I run the program for the first time, I use this file object and I entered there Amit Kumar. Okay, I entered Amit Kumar as the text, and of course I saved that text in the file. Of course the file will have Amit Kumar written over there, okay, and I can open that file, and whenever I will open it, Amit Kumar will be written in the file itself. Suppose I run this program one more time, and this time I have written over there Java. So what will happen? It will go to the file, it will delete whatsoever written in the file already, and it will overwrite the file with the new data. So what will happen to my file? My file will not have that Amit Kumar text now, and it will have a Java written over there instead of Amit Kumar. So if I am using this file writer with this constructor, it is going to overwrite the file every time. But instead of that, if I will use this constructor and I will run that program again and again, entering data, entering a new data again and again, so what will happen? It is going to append, it is going to add the text to the already available text in the file. So whatsoever I will enter next time will be added to whatsoever already available there. So it's going to, technically we say it's going to append the file, or in other words you can say it's going to update the file always, and it's not going to forget the previous data, it's not going to overwrite the previous data. So I would suggest you, if you are using file writer, always use this constructor and not this one. Well, you need not to worry if you are working with file reader about appending, because there you are only reading the file. Okay. Now this file reader, file writer, these are actually streams. Okay, the same stream which we have discussed, I think, in the 16th video lecture. Okay, so these are nothing but streams. These are paths through which data travels from the program to any destination, or from any source to the program. So if we are using these streams, because the dangerous part is these streams are connected to an external source or a destination, and these external source or destination can be used with other programs also, right, or maybe directly by the user. So there are situations where we come through different kind of runtime errors that occur at the time of program execution. Let me tell you one such error. Suppose I am going to read from a file, let it be myfile.txt only. So what will be the changes over there? This will be file reader, this will become file reader, this will become file reader. Name, it's up to you, whatsoever you want to give, you can give over there. And file name will be same because I am going to read it. So I actually created that file through the program, I stored the data, and now I am trying to use that data. I am trying to use that data in program. But suppose during this time the administrator of the system or the user of the system have deleted the file. That means the file that we have created is not available right now. So what will happen? Of course, an exception will occur, file not found exception. So there are situations where these classes can generate exceptions also. So you have to take care about those exceptions once we cover the exception handling chapter. And don't you worry, after completing file handling, that's going to be our next video lecture, and I think 19th video lecture. And in 19th video lecture only I am going to talk about all the types of exceptions and how to handle them, all the 5 keywords. Okay, we are going to discuss about it, don't you worry. But till then you have to take care of it, of the exception that is coming. One more thing you have to take care while working with file reader and file writer is to closing these streams once you are done. Once you are done, you have to close these streams, because once a stream is open, suppose a stream is already open between source and destination, this stream is open. So what will happen? No one else can use this, even you cannot use this destination or source in the same program after some time, because the previous path is already open. So it's better, it's my suggestion to you, to close these paths once your task is done. Okay. So these were the classes, these were the constructors, some methods that I want to tell you, some precautions you should take care while dealing with the files, and these were all the things that we have to discuss today in our theoretical part. Today's practical part is bit lengthier than the usual practical parts. So without wasting any time further, let's see these things practically. Hello students, welcome to the 18th video lecture, and this is the practical session of it. And here we are going to perform file handling. We are going to accept few text from the user and store it in a file, and later on we will read from the file and display on the console screen. So without wasting any time further, let's do it. So first, in my first program, here I will save text. The program name is save text. Here I will accept text from the user, and I will save that text in a text file, and later on I will try to retrieve that text also. Before that, I have to delete few things from this program and add few things in place of that. I'm going to make it an application program, and that's why I'm adding a public static void main here. And you can see I have to take a text from the user, and for that I will create an object of buffered reader. Okay, so that should be buffered reader br is equals to new buffered reader. But you know, here I am going to use buffered reader a lot of times, so whenever you are creating an object, you should give a meaningful name to it. So suppose there are two buffered reader objects in your program, you can distinguish between them. All that I want to say. So here input stream reader constructor will be called, and within the constructor I will pass system.in. Okay, now I will ask a text from the user. Okay, don't forget to import, right? I have to import two classes over here, input stream reader and buffered reader. So I can go for asterisk this time because I have less time right now. So both are from the same class. And then I will ask user to enter some text. Now this text will be saved in the file. So first of all, save the text in a variable. So I'm creating a string variable text, and here with the buffered reader object I am going to call read line, and as soon as I will compile now, it will show me an error. If you remember last time also I told you, whenever you will call this read line method, it will show this error, unreported exception, and to get rid of it you have to add this throws IO exception statement. Okay, this IO exception class is also part of java.io package. Now I will save this in a file. So for that I have to create a file first, and for that I will take help of file writer object. So let it be file itself is equals to new file writer, and here I have to mention the file name. So let it be save text.txt. okay, and now I will create a buffered writer object. Now this is also in this IO package. Okay, now in this buffered writer object I am going to pass this file writer object, but I'm going to pass its object, which is file. Okay, so now I can call a write method. There is a write method in in this buffered writer. I can call that write method, and I will pass this text which I want to save. Okay, right now I am not using print and println, and now I will save this file. Actually the file is saved already. Now I will print on the screen that file is saved, or data saved in file, whatsoever you want to print. But don't forget to close this buffered writer object as well as this file writer object. Okay, so let's see, let's print here data saved or text saved in file. Now I will show you where this file is saved, but before that let's close this buffered writer as well as this file. Okay, now let's run this. Main. Okay, enter some text. So I am entering my name is Amit Kumar, full stop. Okay, and program is over. It's printing text saved file. Okay, text saved in file it should be. Grammatical mistake. Okay, nobody bothers about grammar of English, especially in programming. Sorry all the English teachers. Okay, so let's see. In this program I have saved, through this program I have saved the text entered through the keyboard in a file. But what's the proof? So to check that, you can go to project, okay, and here there is an option save as. So I'm not asking you to save it again, I'm just telling you where the default location is. So default location is in administrator folder. So this specific LFS12 should be in administrator folder, right? So let's go to the administrator folder. Wait. Okay, let's go to the administrator folder from here. Documents. It's in C drive. Users. Administrator. Okay, here there is a folder LFS12. Now in this should be a file. There should be a file save text.java. You can see that save text.java. This is our program, and I have saved a text file also. So just below that save text.java. So there are few files that are related with save text or with our current program. You can see that. Now the first file which is highlighted, actually it's the third file. The third file which is highlighted is the source code. The first file over there, this is the bytecode, and the third file, okay, I should say the last file is the text file which I have created. Now what about this ctxt? I will tell you about it, but not now. So let's open this save text.txt, and you can see I have typed my name is Amit Kumar on that terminal window and it's printed over there. But now let's run this program one more time. Okay, this is the program. Let's go to the project and let's run it one more time. So when I'm going to run it one more time and I'm going to type anything over there like Java programming, okay, and enter. So now this Java programming will be saved in the file, but in what sense? Let's see. Here it is. See, whatsoever I have written earlier is actually deleted. Okay, and if you remember, I told you in the theoretical class itself that if you will use this constructor of file writer, so it's always going to override the previous content. So what's the solution for that? In this particular file writer constructor, pass this true parameter. Now this true is saying that you have to append. Okay, you want to append in the file always and not to override. So the default value of this boolean is false. So if you won't mention anything, it will treat it as false, and it will not save the previous content. In fact, it will always overwrite it. So I'm saving it, compiling it, and running it again. But before running it, let me delete that file. Okay, so it was save text. Okay, this one I am deleting. And now let's run this program one more time. And this time I will run this program 2 times actually, and I will enter 2 different texts. For example, first time I will write my name is Amit Kumar, full stop, and enter. I hope, okay, it's saved. Now let's run it again, and this time I will enter I am living in Gorakhpur. Okay, I am living in Gorakhpur. And now
This is also saved. Let's open the file and see whether it is saved or not. So both the text should be there, you can see. Okay, both the texts are there and they are part of same line because we are not changing the line there. Okay, now let me tell you the same output. Okay, let me delete this one and I will get the same output, but this time I am going to use print writer. So it's very good to use print writer because print and println method it supports, and println method supports in fact all type of values, so not like only the string. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a print writer object here. So print writer pw is equals to new print writer, and in this print writer constructor I'm going to pass the buffered writer object. Okay, and now instead of writing I will print. Okay, so there is a print and println method in the print writer that I am going to use. So pw dot println, and here I will mention the text. Okay, so now definitely it's going to save sorry, definitely it's going to save like previous one. So I'm going to run this program one more time, and let me delete previous file if it is. Okay, I have deleted it. So let's run, and again I will enter two statement. This time my name is Amit Kumar. Okay, and in the second run I will write I am computer science teacher. Fine. So these two texts should be there, and let's see the difference with write and println. Now you can see they are in two different lines. The reason is every time I'm using println, so it is changing the line. After printing the text, it's changing the line. The same effect you can get with write also by concatenating \n along with the text. Okay, so whichsoever you like you can use. Now what we want to do, we want to read the text. Okay, so let's enter a few more lines in the file and then we will read the text from the file. Okay, so I'm running it one more time, in fact two more times, so that I can enter two statements. I am living in Gorakhpur city. Okay, and last one, I love programming. Fine, so there are four lines in the file. You can open and check it, but I'm going to read the text. So read text. Now in this program I'm going to read from the file. So if you remember that file reader, I'm going to use that file reader over here. Again, this is going to be an application program, so public static void main will be there, and inside this main method, first of all I'm going to create an object of file reader. Okay, and then I'm going to create an object of buffered reader. So let's see. So file reader fr is equals to new file reader, and of course here I have to mention the name of the file, so that is save text.txt. and this file reader, okay, I have to import, I will import that. This file reader object I will pass to this buffered reader object. So buffered reader br is equals to new buffered reader, and this buffered reader will actually refer to the file reader, not the scanner, not the system.in. So file reader object is fr. Okay, now buffered reader is ready. I have to import java.io, of course, java.io.asterisk. Now there is a spelling mistake. Okay, now we can read from the file. So before reading I am printing text in file, and that I am going to print from the new line. Fine. And now this file reader constructor is actually showing unreported exception. So this is because of file not found exception. I told you about it, so I have to handle it. I haven't seen the exception, so just throw this exception, and if you want to check, just remove this one more time and you will get the error, and see the error carefully what the error is showing, and then you can go. Okay, it's file not found exception, so you can use file not found exception, or simply exception if it is too lengthy to type. Now a buffer reader can read, and I am storing it in a text. Okay, string text is equals to br dot read line. Okay, and I will print this text. So let's see what's the output of it. And one more thing, I will close these paths, right, br and fr, these references that I will close. So br dot close and definitely fr dot close. So let's see whether it is printing the content from the file. Okay, so read text, right click, void main. Okay, so the text in file, my name is Amit Kumar. You can see there were four lines in the file, still it is reading only one line. The reason you can understand, because I have called this read line only one time. So how many times I have to call it? I have to call it 4 times, so that every time it can read a new line from the file. So I am knowing in advance that there are 4 lines in the file, but every time we will not know that. Okay, so we should use a while loop. Instead of this, we should use a while loop, and here text is not equals to null I am passing, and within the loop I have to read again. So I will not only print the text which I have already read, in fact I will read one more new line. So I will call this br.read line one more time in the text itself, but this time within the loop. So this is the updation, this is the condition, and this is the initialization. So let's see whether it is printing those 4 lines or not. Okay, so you can see as many lines will be there in the file, it's going to read them and it's going to print them. So this is the buffer reader object which is actually reading from the file, and we have actually created 2 programs. One is writing inside the file and one is reading from the file. So we are giving output and taking input from the file, both the things we have done. Now I'm going to create a small application. That application is going to accept some values from you, take some values from you, and it's going to save those values in the file, and later on we are going to get it also, and I'm going to do it with the help of a menu driven program. So let's see how we are going to do that. So to make our task easy, I'm going to create a class for file handler or contact manager. Let it be contact manager. Fine, this is the file name. I'm going to save this file, and in this, sorry, this is a class, and in this class what I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to create a menu for the user. Actually not in contact manager, that I'm going to do in somewhere else, but here I will create actually few methods which is going to save into the file and read from the file. I hope you got it. So let's see how to implement it. Of course we need a file name, so I will create a file name as like this, and one interesting thing is I'm going to make it final. So later on I cannot change the file name. So file name is contacts dot txt. Okay, this is the file name, and now I need file reader and file writer object both, so that I can read and I can write in the file. So I will do that in 2 different methods. So public void write file or save contact. This is more meaningful. So save contact. Now save contact will accept few things that it's going to save. So first of all, it will take a name, then it will take a contact number, and let it take some email ID. So 3 things it will take, and it will save there, okay, in the file itself. So how this is going to be done, let's see. It's not responding, every time it get hanged. I don't know why. Hurry up. Fine. So now what I'm going to do, first of all I need to create a file writer object. So file writer fw is equals to new file writer. Now within this file writer I have to provide, okay, file name which I have already created, and one more thing, I will pass true to it, so that every time it can keep the previous content as well. So I have to import, definitely have to import. So here I am importing java.io asterisk. Fine. Now and of course here I have to throws, I have to put a throws over here. Okay, let's do that. So throws exception. Fine. Now I need a buffered writer and a print writer as well. So if you want to use print writer directly, like if you want to pass the file writer reference to print writer directly, it's not possible. That's why we have to create a buffered writer, and then we will pass the buffered writer reference to the print writer. So it's a three-step process. Though you can call the constructor within the constructor itself, so that you can reduce the number of objects if you want. So this is the print writer object, and in the print writer constructor I am going to pass the buffered writer object. Fine. Now W should be capital. Now I will write with PW, but how I am going to write? I am going to write name, number and email address separated by a text. Okay, I am going to separate it by a text, like name I will enter, and with after the name I'm going to add these two colons. Okay, or let it be one single colon. Fine. If you want to use, you can use any other text, any other escape sequence, whatsoever you want. If you think that certain thing will not be part of any address, will not be part of phone number, so I'm using a symbol over here instead of that. Let's suppose question mark, because neither the name nor the number nor the email ID have the question mark. uh, Suppose if somebody is not having, I'm just supposing question mark is the symbol for me. Now after name I'm going to add number and again a question mark, and then after number I'm going to add email ID. Fine. Once it's done, I will print data saved. Okay, or yes, contact saved in file, contact saved in file. Similarly, I will create a method which will read from the file. Okay, and don't forget to close everything. So pw.close, bw.close and fw.close. I have closed all the streams that I have opened here. Now I want to read from file, so public string. Okay, so I can return a string array, but in that case I have to store in the string array. So that is another thing, another difficult thing to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to return only a single string. That is one of the thing. Or another easier approach is I'm going to print the content of the file. So show contact, I'm going to print everything here. I did not to pass anything, but I have to create a file reader object. So file reader fr is equals to new file reader. File name I have already created in a string variable, and that's it. Now I need a buffered reader to read from here. So buffered reader br is equals to new buffered reader, and here I will pass the file reader object. Now of course I have to throws exception over here. Here the exception is file not found exception, and now I can read read with buffered reader. Okay, I am creating a string text is equals to br dot read line. Now this I have to do in the loop itself, so I am going to copy this, and then after I will create a loop, and within the loop I will test whether text is not equals to null. If it is not equals to null, then only it's going to enter. Okay, and here I will call the new value of text again. Now I will not print the text simply as I have stored in the file. Okay, this thing you should remember. I have to print it in a format. So let's close these two first. So br.close and fr.close. Now one more thing you can do, you can check whether there is something in the file or not, and that you can check with the help of a counter. So create a counter variable, store 0 into it, and every time update this counter, so that after this loop, okay, after this loop you can check if count is 0, that means there is no contact saved in the file. So if count is equals to 0, just simply print no contact saved, or yes, no contact saved would be enough. Sorry, no contact saved. Fine. Now if any contact is saved, I have to print that contact. But how to print that contact? Okay, we can take help of string tokenizer, if you remember. So I am creating a string tokenizer object over here. String tokenizer, it's in the util package. st is equals to new string tokenizer, and in the string tokenizer constructor I will pass this text. We know every time text is going to change, but the delimiter here is the question mark. So according to question mark I am going to change it. Of course I have to import java.util, so that I will do here. So import java.util dot string tokenizer. Fine. And here, because I am separating it with the question mark, whenever I will call the next token, I will get, first time I will get name, then I will get number, then I will get email ID. Okay, so I am going to print them like system.out.println. Okay, so okay, fine. So what you can do, you can print some symbols for the output to be more clear. Okay, this much is enough. We can copy paste it so that the number of equals to should be same, and within these two equals to's I am going to print name, contact number and email ID. So first thing is name, and you can print it as contact name, and here you will call the tokenizer, so st dot next token. Fine, and you have to call this two more times because the next one is contact number and then the email ID, email address, contact number and email address. Okay, fine, and you have to call next token again and again. So this is going to print all the contacts saved in the file. So of course if no contact is saved, it will print no contact saved. So these were the two methods that I am going to use, the contact manager class methods. Now I am going to create a menu driven program. Okay, so contact manager menu. Okay, this is the class name. Fine, and here in the contact manager menu I am going to create main method. First of all, static void main, and within this main method I am going to create a menu for the user. Save contact, show contact. We can create a search contact as well. I will do that later on, but let's create these two. So I'm going to create a do while loop so that this menu can be shown again and again. And okay, let's do it with while. So I'm creating a con variable storing 0 into it, and here I'm giving the condition while con is equals to 0. Now this loop will run definitely, and within the loop I have to update the con as well. So I'm creating a buffered reader object. Okay, buffered reader object br is equals to new buffered reader, and here I will pass new input stream reader, and in that I will pass system.in. Of course I have to import java.io package, that I will do right now. So import java.io dot asterisk. Okay, fine, and what I am going to do here, in the first of all I have to show the menu, so I will show the menu. Here I will print, okay, this is just for output. Okay, contact manager menu. Fine, and here I will show two options. Okay, Now the first option will be save contact and the second option will be show contact. So save contact and the second option will be show contact. Of course the third option will be exit. So this will be show contacts, and the last option will be exit. And I will ask the user to choose 1, 2 or 3. Well, the user can enter anything over there. Now according to user's choice through switch I will implement this menu. So I will ask the user to choose anything. So enter your choice. I will ask the user to enter his choice or her choice. Enter your choice, and this I will accept in a ch variable. And of course I am having a buffer reader object, so I will parse it because buffer reader will give me a string. So I will read with readline method and I will parse it into int. Okay, now this ch I will pass in switch. Now there will be 3 cases over here. Case 1 break, case 2 break, case 3 break, and a default case as well. So let's copy paste it. Copy case 2, case 3 and a default case. So I don't need a break in the default. Let's change the case values. Case 2, case 3 and this one is default. Okay, in default you will enter, please choose correct option. Okay, error, please choose correct option. Fine. And after this switch I will ask the user whether he wants the menu to be shown again or not. So I will ask press 0 to go back to menu. I think it's fine, and that I will store in con. So a con variable I have created, in that I will show that, and here I will accept the same, I will accept the integer with the same code. So I'm just copy pasting it over here. So of course after this while condition will be checked, and if it is 0 again, menu will be shown again. Now in case 3 I will call system.exit so that this can exit. Okay, now in these two, of course in the first one I have to ask name, contact number and email ID. So that those 3 things I will ask from the user. So enter name, and these things I have to store somewhere in a variable as well. So let me print first what I want to ask. Enter name, contact number, okay, and the last thing is email address. Now I will store these things in variables. So for example, first one I am taking in name, and method is br.readline itself. I am taking everything as string, so I can just copy and paste. So the second one will be contact, so cont, and the last one will be email. I hope it's fine. So now I need an object of that contact manager class. Do you remember that contact manager class I created just now? Okay, I have to call it, but you can see all the read line is showing error. The reason is I have to throw exception over here. Okay, then this error will gone. Now contact manager also I have to call. CM is equals to new contact manager, and object is ready now. Now I will call different methods. Like here I will call that, okay, let's see the method name in contact manager class. First method is save contact, so I will call this method only cm dot save contact, and I will pass name, contact number and email address. Okay, similarly I have to show contact in case 2. So in case 2 all that I need is call show contacts, because I need not to pass anything, and everything I have printed in show contacts itself, so nothing to be done here. Now show contacts is showing an error. Okay, let's see what's the method name. Show contact only. Okay, there is no show contacts, my mistake. It's show contact only. Now compile. Now I will run this main. Fine, the menu will work for me, and you can see this class is using this class. Now main I have called, and now menu is there. So let's see if I enter show contacts now. It's showing file not found exception because file is not created over there, if you remember, because for that I have to at least enter something in the file. So this you should handle here rather than throwing, but how to handle it I will show you, I will tell you in the next video lecture. So let's save some values now. So save contact, let's enter Amit Kumar, contact number let it be, and email address let it be this. So contact saved, go back to menu. Let's see the contacts now, show contacts. So it's showing null pointer exception. Null pointer exception at this question mark. Okay, so let's see why this question mark is not getting, why I am unable to get this question mark, and that I can check here. There should be some contacts here. Here it is, contacts. Okay, now question mark is there, but the problem is uh, it's not splitting the string from the question mark. Let's see one more time in the contact manager. I think yes, here it is. String st is equals to new string tokenizer text we have passed, and question mark also we have passed. So let's pass it as a character. Okay, we cannot pass it as a character. It is to be a string only, but the text is not splitting. That means st is null. Okay, or maybe the text is, no, text is not null, because in that case it will not enter the loop. Okay, that means this string tokenizer is not working right now. Okay, let's print the value of text as well, so that we can know what is the value of text. Okay, okay, I got it. The reason is I'm not rereading the text. Maybe that would be the reason. Okay, so let's reread it. Fine, and let's run one more time. So let's compile and reread it. Open, show contacts. Okay, still the same exception. Let's see what output we are getting. Terminal window. Okay, no output we are getting. String tokenizer, contact manager, init, null pointer exception. Okay, okay, it's coming here. File name is given, buffered reader, referring to that file name itself, and br.readline I'm storing in text, and text is not equals to null. It's coming in the loop, that's for sure. Okay, okay, I read it before I got the error. It should be at the end. So it's updating before working on the current value. So these logical error can be there, so you have to rectify it by yourself. Okay, you can see showing one of the contact over there, Amit Kumar, no contact number and email address. We can go back to menu and we can save few more contacts, like let's suppose Ajay Chaudhary. Okay, contact number let it be 98765567889, and email ID ajay@gmail.com. Okay, this is also saved, and now we can see both the contacts. So see, you can see there, show contacts is showing all the contacts. You can create another menu. I'm giving you a homework. You will enhance the menu. You will make one more option for the user to search contact. When the user will say search contact, you can ask the user whether you want to search with name, you want to search with number, or you want to search with address, email address. And according to user's choice, that means you have to do nested menu. Okay, if in case you would not be able to complete it, please raise the question as a query, and I will deal this in the next video lecture. So that was it. That was the only thing we have to discuss today, and I hope we have discussed most of the topics that we wanted to discuss today in practical aspect. Okay, Let me close this. I will enter. So it is closing now. So we have actually created 4 programs today. In the first program we learned how to save the text into a file. In the second one we learned how to read from the file. In the third one we actually created a contact management system where we are actually saving and retrieving data from a file. So now data is retaining in your system so that you can use it for a longer duration of time. That's it in file handling. And in the next video lecture we are going to discuss about exception handling. So that's it for this video lecture. Hope to meet you in the next video lecture. Till then, goodbye and have a nice day.